Yeah, you have to get your own place, like me.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden there's a lot more expenses.
What if I could? What if I could?
Well, you would have your own place. It gives you a lot more freedom. Not economically, but personally.
Oh, hey, Jaboon.
Oh, Japan is here with you!
We hunting bridges.
Oh, and you heard Shadow's 20 ears. That's not nice.
You cannot deny the power of the stand bush, Shadow.
I also think he cannot deny that my singing is better.
Depends on song. Depends on the song.
Well, I can't growl or scream.
If it requires a deeper voice, I think mine is better.
Trying to think of a song with a deep voice. Oh, I'll take my hope where I can find it. Seems I found it here in you. Hang a curtain and get behind it. I won't even ask for breath.
I can do a pretty good Joe. I can do a pretty good Joe Cocker. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't care. Now please set me free. Okay.
Shadow, just for that, Varren, I will throw these Belgian waffles on the floor.
1, I don't think you have actual Belgian waffles. 2, the Belgian waffles you would have, they are not the real Belgian waffles. And 3, I don't really care.
You're not a patriot, clearly. Neither am I, but still. Oh, and thank you, Shadow, and Yusatsu. Thank you.
Shadow! You're making my soul sad. Why? Why?
Yusatsu is also saying that he is all hyped because Before the Storm is coming out in 2 days.
I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea either.
No, don't feed the Shakovs!
Well, Shadow, you need to talk to Trevor, because Trev Apocalypse is our scientist in the pit, and he can help you with a cloning program. So if you just get one willing participant, you can just clone that participant over and over and over and over again, and you will never run out. Never run out.
We continue with the game now.
I think we are annoying Varren.
The rest of the trip home is uneventful, but one thing is clear. Someone is hunting you. This ambush was no chance gang warfare, but an organized attempt on your life. If Green Winters was right, then whoever killed him is now after you. The PDA that you retrieved from your attackers may hold some answers. It's time to return to your safe house and consult Paul Amsel.
And Yosatsu is saying it's a prequel to Life is Strange.
Ah yes, the sequel that's actually a prequel.
Always good to have those.
Yeah.
Oh, with the you know what, Shadow? Good on you. I mean, you have a good many heads with snakes and many ears, so of course you could figure it out. Oh, and speaking of music and stuff, I ordered Ritual from In This Moment, and it's going to arrive this weekend, and I can't wait.
Nice.
Yay. Oh, hi Samuel. He's a little bit racist too.
Against humans.
Yeah. Well, I take offense to that, because I'm quite human, I think.
That's debatable.
Yeah. I think I have to run some tests.
Alright, get my best orcish voice out again.
Leech golems. Oh, Shadow, draw those. I want to see what a leech golem looks like.
Logan, my friend, what can I do for you? I've uncovered what Humanist is up to. You'll find the details on this datapad. Beckenbauer eyes the plans on the datapad, then nods grimly. This fits with Humanist established pattern of behavior, horrific and vile. According to this datapad, Humanist compounds all over Berlin have received similar shipments. They plan to deploy the gas tomorrow morning. He exhales sharply, then nods again. I have a feeling that the Flux State will have a thing or two to say about that. Stahl has overstepped his bounds. His hubris will be his undoing. Actually, I was his undoing. Volker Stahl is no longer among the living.
Whoop whoop.
That is excellent news. I'm not ashamed to say that I wish the man dead. You deserve whatever you did to him. And now I'm going to see if that the rest of his twisted organization suffers in the same way that he did. You mark my words, within the next few hours, the Humanist Polyclub is going to take a hammering that will take the Night of Rage to look like a peace rally. I owe you a great deal, Varren. Will do. I will wire your payment to the account number that Amsel provided. Pleasure doing business with you. And there we go.
By the way, Sharon, I think I've heard about that game. Though I'm not quite sure where, though I heard the title and I know I heard about that. So, when you get it, get back to us. Tell us if it's awesome or not.
Everyone is human, but others have genetic defects, making sub-races. No, Yosatsu, the reason there are metahumans in this world is because of rediscovered mana.
Well, Shadow, just because I think you're awesome at drawing those things, so quite like them, but draw whatever you like. You know, I don't want to force you to draw anything you do not want to.
So,
everything has to be consensual.
Remember that drone we found and repaired again? Like there was this drone we found in a hotel where we also got blitz, and we gave it to the dwarf lady to repair it.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, and she needed like parts.
Yeah, we gave that to her and everything. It got repaired, but then I now have a conversation with Blitz about it, apparently.
Mm.
Blitz's eyes widen when he sees the drone that you're carrying. He looks anxious. Oh, hi Chief, how's it going? I found this drone in the that hotel vault. Does it belong to you? Yeah Chief, that's mine. I didn't want to say anything at the time, since it was my idea to have you loot the vault in the first place. What was it doing in there? It's my personal drone. Good to have something to hide behind when you're on a solo decking run, you know? Lutz took it from me when we seized control of the Schwarz Harrison. I've been hoping to get it back ever since. I've gotta say, Chief, it hurts me to see her all banged up to hell like she was. Looked like Luster had a few of her goons take turns on my baby with a baseball bat. But it looks like you got her up and running again. How'd you manage that? Millet fixed your drone. She says that it won't listen to anyone but you, though. Score. So, can I have it back? Sure, it's no use to me anyway. There we go.
We'll start a fundraising for pencils and paper for Shadow. And Shadow, I would say, when you sit down to doodle or draw, just do whatever you want to doodle and draw the most. Take it from there. I think that would be the best approach. Oh, that's Ducky!
There is Ducky.
Aww.
And I'm going to have to talk with Dietrich again.
Yay.
You really came through for me, boss. You ever need anything from me, anything at all, you can call on me. I'll come running.
How's Alexander holding up?
Yeah, was about to ask that. How's Alexander holding up? He's a good kid, that nephew of mine. Give him some time and he'll shake Stahl's programming. It might take a while, but he'll adjust to life here in the Curse Bazaar. In the meantime, I found a good home for him. Samuel's agreed to take him in. Is that wise? Samuel's employees have no love for humanists. Most of them don't even like humans. Best thing for the kids will be to learn through immersion. If he stays with Samuel's group, you'll have no choice but to interact with metahumans. Soon enough, he'll learn that he's no different than anyone else.
True, and they will learn to interact with a human. Whips both ways.
Exactly. First few days will be rough, no question, but I'll make it through and come out the other side a better man for it.
Well, I've seen the pictures, Yosatsu, so I can see why. Especially if he's going to keep on building bridges and building more bridges and building more bridges. And I'm slowly killing him, guys. It's wonderful. Shadow's saying that you need singing lessons too.
Oh, fuck off, Shadow.
And bridge supplies.
You guys are going to break me.
And Shadow needs shoes. Many shoes. Do you have many feet? Just a thought.
Yeah.
You have many ears, many eyes, many snakes on your head, so maybe you have many feet. Oh, it's okay, Varren. Okay, Varren, we love you. It's from Yosatsu.
Yeah, you say that now.
Oh, come on. I showed you around town.
Yes, you did.
I showed you the best places to eat.
Yes, you did.
I showed you the museums.
Yes, you did.
And I gave you a big hug.
Multiple.
Many hugs.
Yeah.
So. Oh, you just collect them. Well, me too, but I'm a girl, so. I don't think it counts.
Alright. He seems like a tough kid. I don't doubt that you're right.
Oh, and Jaboon can help you out. He knows where you can get boulders. For rich. Well, Shadow, you have a bit of a raven in you, I think, with the shiny objects. So
Maybe.
I shouldn't talk, I guess, because I'm right beneath my jewelry.
Yeah.
I can't say the word. Collection.
Jewelry.
Jewelry. Jewelry. I can't do it.
Oh, hey, Liana.
Stay out of here. Woo!
Alright. Dietrich claps you on the shoulder. You're a good man,
Liana.
boss. Onto other things. Remember what I was telling you back before we climbed into the van? Yeah, you were saying that the Dragon Slayer was happy and that you'd be given a reward. That's right. Thanks to our, let's not mince words, heroic actions back in that swan pit, the Dragon Slayer has seen fit to grant me his favor. His grin widens. And now I know what it means and what I can do with it. Well, don't give me suspense. He gestures at the ground near his feet. This. As you watch, the spot that Dietrich is pointing at begins to glow. Lines of force spread out in a scintillating web, and feeling of raw power suffoces your body. I've just torn open a channel between myself and the Dragon Slayer. That power that you feel is his power, pouring through the ether and into that spot. If you're familiar with ley lines, it's the same basic concept. I consecrate a patch of ground, and as long as I stand in that spot, all of my magic gets stronger.
And yes, Iliana, I've been there too, so. And I'm right back into uni, so I'm going to be busy again as well. But I think I will be able to get to all the Friday streams. I don't think I'll be able to make the Monday ones because I have lectures there.
Oh.
But the Friday ones, yes, I think I will be able to make it to those because that's my day off.
Woohoo! He crosses his arms over his chest. Not bad, huh?
Jewelry.
Jewelry, yeah.
I'm trying to pronounce it the way everyone is saying it, or spelling it. Jewelry.
Yeah.
I hope that's alright, because that's a bit easier for me to say, actually. Jewelry. Yeah, you wouldn't think it, though, that I've been studying English, because it's not that good.
It's better than Erasmus.
True, he has a very heavy Danish accent. Though studies have shown that native speakers of English find that a heavy Danish accent when speaking English is quite cute. I don't get it, but...
Explains why you're so popular.
I have a German accent according to Dutch, so no, I'm popular because I have boobs. And because I give hugs.
Yes. What about another major shaman? Could someone else benefit from one of these channels too? He shrugs. Don't see why not. Like I said, it's basically a ley line, as long as you're on the Dragon Slayer's good side. I don't see why you couldn't use it. My idol, he isn't stingy with his gifts. Anyway, boss, I want to keep fiddling with this, learning to properly control it. And I'm sure they've got things to do as well. You take care of whatever else it needs doing, and by our next run, I'll be ready to use this. Sounds good. Take care, Dieter.
Thanks, Jaboon, and thanks for teaching me how to say jewelry. Because I'm
You
just
too.
going to pronounce it, that way.
You too, boss. There we go. Now let's give our little doggy a pet.
Yay, the doggy!
Woof.
And yes, accents are very interesting, Shadow. Also because, again, when I study English, we were going to listen to a lot of audio recordings of different accents, and that was actually quite fun. The nerd in me had a lot of fun with that. Until the point we actually had to analyze them phonetically and morphologically as well. Then I became a bit, no, not so fun.
Yeah.
That's a bit dry.
We're going to
And
have some
Jaboon.
dialogue for you, Moth.
Ooh, the screen flickers to life, and Mallet's face appears. From the shifting background and ambient noise, it's clear that this message was recorded on a portable device. And I have no idea what voice I gave her, so...
Just look at her and think, what voice would fit for her?
Oi! Varren Kimbold? Yeah, okay. It's me, Mallet, by the way. I just want to tell you that I've met with limited success in working on that stack of DVDs. It's a bit of a thorny problem, but at least I'm making some headway. Just a bit, just a smidge. And we have the delay again, that wonderful delay. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you will find another recovered disc. I wasn't able to salvage all the files on it, but I think you might find what I did recover to be of interest. Just ignore the gay porn.
I thought we had established that it was dragon porn.
Nope, this one is gay porn. Not quite sure why, and for some reason the guy who downloaded this had a thing for pink feather boas, because they're everywhere in that video. But anyway, for my part, I'm going to continue working on the other DVDs. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't hold out much hope though. They're all badly damaged and suffering from disc rot besides. And also, what I have managed to recover is just more of that gay porn with different colored feather boas. And no, don't watch it because you don't want to know what they do with those feather boas. Just trust me on that. But anyway, I'll be in touch, and my best to you and your team. Toodles!
The message ends and the image fades. You find yourself back at your inbox.
Juliana's like, porn? Yay! Well, that's a good place to keep it, Shadow. Because you don't want to lose that infinite void, that void of infinite madness. Because, like, if you misplace it or something, it could get quite tricky. And it could wreak havoc on your personal life, but yeah, keep it where you can see it. More pink than anything else. Yay!
There we go. Now to meet that person in the park.
Yay! What about the DVD?
Oh yeah, let's first do the DVD.
Yes. And let's just skip the porn.
Oh, and also have to talk with Amsel.
Oh god.
You wanted talking? Well, you get more talking.
Yeah, but but he ignores glory.
Alright.
So, I don't like him.
Load the third DVD. They might still be sticky, Yosatsu. They might be.
Seen the Didgeridoo
porn? Iliana, what?
I have no idea what that is.
Context. We need context.
Yeah, and since you say be glad that we haven't seen that, I'm a little bit like, I'm not sure I want to Google it.
Probably don't.
No.
Alright, track 1.
They're always sticky, Yosatsu.
Yeah.
Always sticky.
Display goes black, and then you see green winters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about Adrian today. Not as he was when he disappeared. Not as the fabled Dragon Slayer, or the big-time CEO of Deal Defense. I was thinking about when we were kids. Well, I was always more of a kid than he was, of course. He's 15 years older than me. In a way, he was more like a parent than a brother. Winters pauses, his gaze drops to an invisible point on the table in front of him. So I was thinking about this time when we were on holiday. Our parents took us out to the island of Pool to enjoy the beach. I must have been about 5 years old. Adrian was 20. It'd be his last family vacation with us. A year later, he'd begin his meteoric rise to fame and fortune. But on this trip, he was my brother. And when I fell out of the little paddle boat that our parents rented and started sinking fast into the Baltic, he was the one who dove in to rescue me. You saved my life that day, Adrian. I'll love you forever for that. And I will find you. I owe you that much.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Ilian, it's just because, again, we have limited vocabulary, so I did not know what a didgeridoo it was, but I do now. Okay. Ouch.
Also, why did you disable your mic? I mean, your camera.
Oh, because I googled it.
God dang
Nothing
it,
against you. If you just Google Didgeridoo, or however you pronounce it, you'll get something quite safe. It's kind of like a big...
Yeah, I know the instrument. I've played it actually.
Okay, but Indiana is saying the gay porn got in trouble for what they did with that instrument.
Ow.
So I'm thinking, ouch. Though, if you farted, though, would it like make the proper sound?
Well, the sound is made because you put the mouth you put the mouthpiece, well, just the end of it over your mouth, and then you just go.
So it could work if you farted.
Maybe.
In theory, maybe. And no, Shadow, it's not Bernie Sanders.
It's not Bernie Sanders. He doesn't talk like this.
And yes, you said. So I got to know.
that was a horrible Bernie Sanders. I'm sorry. Track 2.
Well, at least you can do accents. I can't do accents. I just speak English. It's the best to my abilities.
Found an old news article that mentions Adrian from way back in 2036. It was printed in a financial magazine called Das Finanzwesen, one of those chic print-based mags that are produced for the retro crowd. There aren't any clues in here, but it's good to see someone else acknowledging his existence. He clicks an off-screen button and the image of Winters disappears. It is replaced by a digital scan of a magazine page. SK stock suffers in post-buyout brain drain, November 12, 2039. In the aftermath of Dragon's Law for his hostile takeover of Cedar Krupp Schwerindustriegesellschaft, a continuing brain drain of high-level executives is causing ongoing worry among company shareholders. The company's stock took a major hit when Lofer deposed former CEO Wilhelmina Graf Benoit last August.
Well, Eliana, we asked. You delivered an answer, so thank you for that. So, don't feel like you said too much about that specific kind of porn. Because again, we asked.
3 months later, long-held power positions within the SKI Empire continue to empty as the dragon consolidates his power base. The most recent casualties of Lover's takeover include Alexandra Kobayashi, former COO of Seder Munitions, Mavis Deuner, former treasurer of Roof Datafax, and Werner Harding, former CEO of Deal Defense. Harding stepped into the role to replace Dr. Adrian Vauclair, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances 2 years ago.
And Noisatsu, when it comes to American English, when it came to that's when we do it in writing, because we have to write in either American English or British English. So I can't really do the accent. I can try, but it's bad and I'm not consistent. Gory tried to teach me some American accent. I was like, fuck me gently with a chainsaw, or something like that. It was, yeah, hilarious. But yeah, it's when we write the paper, we always have to pick what kind of English that we write it in. The standard is either American or British English, and it, of course, affects the spelling of words, the vocabulary a little bit, and it also has an impact on the grammar when citing sources, whether or not a punctuation is supposed to be before or after parentheses and stuff like that.
I was always taught with British spelling, British speaking, and everything.
We weren't really taught any specifics. I think it was mostly American spelling in lower classes because it's easier in a sense.
Well,
you don't have to worry about the OU or the OU.
With the teacher training, we at one point we had to see like differences between British and American, but we were mostly taught the British way.
Yeah. I do remember that when I turned 16 and we had to go to the next level of education, then you're basically told the first day of English class that you have to choose one or the other. Of course, if you have a preference for a completely different accent, you can actually choose that. Then you have to be very consistent with it.
How to speak with an Austrian accent?
Yes.
Alright. Winter's face winks back onto the screen. So there you have it. That's what they had to say about Adrian a mere 2 years after his disappearance. My brother, the footnote. Winter disappears and you find yourself back at the menu screen.
Also, Satsu, yes, I've been told by Dutch that I have a German accent when I speak English. I don't really speak German. I know a few words and sentences, so I can navigate a little bit.
Ein Schmetterling!
Ein großes Weißbier, bitte? Yeah. I don't even drink beer, but I can order one.
Was magst du?
Wie geht's?
Wie geht's?
Rechts, links, geradeaus an der Ecke. For directions, that's always good. And when you say tschüss, when you say goodbye, you don't say tschüss, you have to sing it, so it's tschüss!
Tschüss!
Yes, it has to be high like that. I learned that quite quickly the first time I went to Berlin. And I just went tschüss, and I just went tschüss, and I was like, no, you're doing it wrong. It's tschüss! It's like, okay.
And is
yes, just that's so 9.
Is it guten Abend or guten Appetit?
Guten Abend, that's good evening, and guten Morgen, that's good morning, and gute Nacht, that's good night.
Yeah, but I mean for like for instead of bon appetit. I need to know
not
this.
Sure. I think Varren went to Google.
Yes, I did.
That's also quite useful, Shadow, so don't be sad about that.
Essentie lekker. Essentie lekker. Alright. Blade track 3.
I have no idea what Jabun is saying right now.
Fakari masen desu ne. Or is that Japanese? I don't know.
I have no idea.
While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with a meaningless stream of text. Blah 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 blah. Okay.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah blah blah.
You almost went into your French mode again.
Oh. You give me the opening.
Yes. Do we even have French members of the slot pit?
I don't think we do.
Ah. That's quite sad, actually.
While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with a meaningless stream of text. That's all, folks. Play track 5.
You just order it in English, Shadow, because most people in Europe speak English. Though I did meet one German guy who did not know what toilet was, which I thought was quite weird, because everyone knows what toilet is, and yeah. I had to pee. I was at the other end of Berlin, and I had to get all the way back to my house, and I was like, I really fucking have to pee. So I had to find a bathroom, so I went into a cafe, and I was like, can I use the toilet? And I just went, I don't know what that is. And I was like, bathroom. Don't know. I have to pee. I don't know what that means. It's fucking hell. And then at the end he was like, oh, you need to use the toilet. I was like, that's what I said. That's what I fucking said.
You just have to go like so. You just have to go like.
Yes, I have to. Or maybe he would have misunderstood that. That would have been really bad.
Alright. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grinds in its tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. From the desk of Dr. Werner Harding. Dr. Vauclair. It is my sad duty to inform you that by unanimous vote of the Aufsichtsrat, your position as CEO of Deal Defense will be terminated at the end of this calendar month. Your continued miscalculation of company funds to pursue personal agenda cannot and will not be tolerated any longer. The supervisory board is not unsympathetic to your mental state. The trauma that you endured during your pursuit of the dragonfall ring must have been enormous. But your continuing obsession with the dragon, the dead dragon I might add, has proven a negative influence on this company, and an unjustified drain on the company resources.
And no, Jaboon, it's not toilet du fromage, it's omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage. Oh, Dexter's Lab. That was a good series.
It was.
I do love the one where Dexter and Dee Dee actually get hold of the coffee.
But actually, it's mispronounced. It's omelette de fromage. Not du. It's de.
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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Exactly.
And well, Shadow, maybe some French in there could spice things up.
Well, we got a lot of hate for the French apparently in the pit.
Well, I know they can be quite snobbish, but...
Mostly because of that.
eh.
Alright. The board wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. We have prepared a generous severance package to assist you in this time of transition. If there's anything more that we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. Werner Harding. The disc spins down and you find yourself sitting at the main menu. Eject DVD. Alright. Now to talk with Amsel.
I agree, Shadow. I prefer the old episodes when I first started watching. Dexter's Lab. I do love the fact when he has to go into his lab, it's like, password, Star Wars. It's like, yeah, of course, it can't be anything else.
Well, excuse us.
I think a kid his age would be introduced to Star Wars before he would be introduced to the other thing, which I have no idea what it's called right now because
Star Trek.
My mind is fading. Star Trek. That's the one.
God damn, how could you not?
Because I only watched like 2 episodes of it and I was like, that's not for me. So I just left, never came back to it, and decided that the people who enjoy it can enjoy them by themselves without me.
Alright. Amsel calls over his shoulder at the sound of your approach. His eyes are glued to his computer display. Varren, Kimbold, from Müller should be on our way, but before you go to the meeting site, I have news. He glances at you, and his words trail off. Upon seeing the expression on your face, Amsel's voice becomes grave. It's gonna wait. Tell me what has happened. Bad news, my friend. Somebody's hunting us. This has been ambushed on the U-bound line. Amsel pauses, then gives us a curt nod. Truth be told, I've been expecting that something like this might happen. I'm just glad that you made it out alive. Hand over the encrypted PDA. One of the attackers dropped this.
Also, Shadow seems to agree with be on the same side as me regarding Star Trek, but the others have gone a little bit quiet, so maybe I have offended them grievously.
I mean,
I'm sorry. It's just that it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me.
I mean, I like Star Trek for what it is, but I prefer Star Wars way more.
Yeah, I mean, when you read into the history of the show and stuff like that, you know, I admire it for what it has done and what it was trying to do, and all the way back and everything. And the first interracial kiss on screen was from Star Trek, so I think that's a very important grand milestone to have. And it also seemed to feature a quite diverse cast, even early on.
Although actually the first series was a flop. The only reason it got resurrected was because of Star Wars.
Well, of course, Star Wars is amazing. But yeah, I watched Star Wars as a kid because my dad loved that too. So that's what I was introduced to. And when it comes to Star Trek, it's not really something that has gotten a lot of ground in Denmark. That's more Star Wars. It's not. I think Star Trek might be a little bit more American, at least for us in Denmark. We don't really see it as something more international, I think.
Well, yeah, it's like an idealized version of a certain future and everything. A little bit communist, actually.
Just a little bit. Well, we did have a few communist parties in Denmark during the Cold War, so.
True that.
Yeah.
Alright. Amsel takes the PDA from you and examines it. Yes, I should be able to extract some information from this. Give me a moment. He plugs the PDA into his computer and goes to work. A few moments later, he lets out a grunt of dismay. Well, Varren, I was able to recover a file. But unfortunately, that's all I'll ever be able to pull it off this thing. All that anyone will, truth be told. It must have been running some kind of counter-intrusion software. The instant that I gained access, it bricked itself. Amsel disconnects the useless PDA and drops it to the ground. It clatters to a rest on the metal floor.
Also, Varren, Yosatsu has a question for you.
Yes, I like cake, Yosatsu.
As long as it's not chocolate cake.
Yeah. What did you manage to pull off of it? A com file. The audio is all here, but looks like we only got video from one side of the conversation. Let's see what we have. He opens the file and a nightmarishly familiar face appears on the screen. Oh, look who it is! It's our old friend!
Give me a second. Give me a sec, I'll be right there, Glory back here, he's fucking ugly!
That's not very nice thing to say.
But you are, have you looked in a mirror?
Bachmeier. The voice bleats out from Amsel speakers, filling the room. Order here, what's your status? Bachmeier. Bachmeier's image is garbled, but his voice sounds young and eager. Target acquired, sir. You were right. We spotted him on the U-bound, just like you said. Probably on his way to a job. As per your instructions, we're gonna take them out on his way back. He'll be more vulnerable that way. Hopefully injured and low on ammo too, but only time will tell. Good man. Proceed as instructed. Will do. Cosman is ringing up an ambush spot now. We'll try to make it quick. The orc with a nightmare face nods. Send me a call when your job is done. Aid urgent out.
You're still fucking ugly!
Famous last words.
Well, Yosatsu, we might be very socialist over here. Denmark especially. we are not communists.
No, we're not. Like our government
We
is
did
actually
have
our government is pretty to the right at the moment. So
yeah, ours as well, and they just stepped in it big time the other day, because all of a sudden they want to distribute money to the different counties in Denmark, which is fine, you know, part of the financial deal they're trying to work out. But the way that they have like decided to divide everything up, it's kind of like, yeah, we're doing this on a friend-to-friend basis. It's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. And the best thing was, I was watching it on TV with my grandfather, and the journalist was asking, you know, the politician question about this, and he was like, well, it kind of, you know, a lot of people are saying that this is, you know, kind of like a friend kind of deal. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of deal. So what is your response to this? And he gave some sort of bullshit answer. I can't really remember the details. But the best thing was the journalist. He just retorted with, but that's just insane. You can't say that. You can't believe that. You know that's not true. That's false. You can't say that. And then he just put the mic back in his face. It's like, tell the fucking truth, dude. And he couldn't. So in the end, the journalist was just like, well, you're not going to tell us anything that's true or anything that's relevant, so I guess we'll just stop it here. And it's just like, yeah. And then we have one of the conservatives come in to also give her word on it, the whole thing. And of course the conservatives are in on the deal. They're also so fucking right-wing in Denmark. And the journalist asked her like a good question. He didn't pressure her the same way because she's like quite low on the ladder, so I think that's why he didn't bother. But he said, so what do you think about this, and didn't this sort of discourage you from making a financial deal with the other party? She was like, oh no, because we have no idea how they did their financial deals in the past. I was like, bitch, you're a representative of the Conservative Party. You know how the other parties have done their financial deals 20 years back. Because you have to know that that's your fucking job, you're lying. And the journalist just kept asking her the same question, but she just kept giving that bullshit answer. In the end, he was just like, okay, not gonna get an answer from you either, am I? I was like, that's perfect. Hopefully that means that the right wing is going to lose the next election, because man, they stepped in those interviews. That was amazing.
Jaboon, what happened? Well, we got some more background info on Agent Vauclair, the guy we're trying to find, and we also discovered a conversation with an old friend of ours.
Yay. You're fucking ugly!
The image
Glory has a very, you know, strong opinion on the guy's appearance.
Yeah.
The guy in inverted commas.
The image on the computer screen dies, Amsel turns to face you.
Yes, Shadow, I agree. Politicians be dumb like always. The very last prime minister we had that I actually liked, he was from a left-wing party that was just like a few steps to the left of the centre, which was fine. They're the old Workers' Party, or the old Labour Party. They have gone more towards the centre, so they're a very centrist party at the moment. They have gone purple, as they say in the media. But his name was Poul Nyrup Rasmussen, which is a mouthful, I know. But he's the only one of the last prime ministers that I remember that has actually, you know, that I feel was a genuine good person who wanted to be prime minister because he wanted to help people. After he stepped down as prime minister and we got a right-wing government, he didn't continue in like big politics. He actually started to do grassroots campaigns and fight for the rights of people with mental disabilities. And he has fundraised, and he have, you know, been diverting attention towards them and working as a volunteer in many groups, helping that community. And the others, they just continue with a politician kind of career, and I have no respect for that. I have respect for what he has done after he stepped down. Almost like Jimmy Carter from the US. So yeah.
Well,
being a politician has become a career, I think, in the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
It's no longer a call, it's
Nope.
just a career.
Well, our scarred friend makes an appearance. Varren, I suspect that Green Winter's predictions are coming true. I believe that Fireswing is behind this. Under Amsel's patient exterior, you can feel the worry that's eating at him. Be on your guard. You and the rest of your team. You've made it through this attack relatively unscathed, but next time you might not be so lucky. At least...
And yes, Shadow, I agree. It's sad that mental health gets ignored that much, and yes, we do miss the God Emperor of mankind.
All hail the Emperor!
And his golden toilet. If only Cthulhu could come back to run the world.
I've been sitting on the idea for a video for a long time where I talk about why Dawn of War 2, it's one of the Warhammer 40k video games, why that is the best introduction to the Warhammer 40k universe. Because, well, that was my introduction, and I think it's a very, very good introduction, actually.
Maybe you should
Yeah.
branch out a little bit. Maybe make it into a mini-series.
Why
Just
I think
saying. ... Yes. And mental health keeps getting ignored here as well. But that's because we have a right-wing government, and they had a lot of money for giving themselves, the politicians, a raise. And they also think that we should give tax cuts to the rich, like they do in the US. And when the people were actually polled in a poll the other day, it was actually shown that the top four issues on the minds of the Danes coming up to this financial big thing that has to be drafted is actually our welfare state. It's health in general, and elder care, and education, and then also migration, especially refugees, because we have a bit of a crisis of that over here.
Yeah.
But all the politicians want to talk about is tax cuts for the rich. Which is like, no, we don't want that. We really don't want that. So I have a feeling that next time, hopefully, we're going to get a left-wing government. But I am a little bit afraid because our racist party that has become increasingly more racist, they're currently the second biggest party in Denmark. The biggest party are the Social Democrats. They are the centrist party. One step towards the left of the center, I would say, but still very centrist. And fortunately, one of the other very, very big parties is something called Enhedslisten, which is not just left-wing. They are almost to the left of the left. They're not communists, but they are a very strong socialist party, and they have grown massively the last few elections. So hopefully they can help pull the Social Democrats a little bit further to the left than they are at the moment, and hopefully they can help make a coalition against the right-wing parties. So, but yeah, it's a bit of it's shit at the moment, because half the people in Denmark is like, we have to focus more on integration, have to put more funds into that, and the other half is like, no, we don't like it at all, just keep them out.
I was about to say something about the refugee status, but was like, no, otherwise we'll be here for another half an hour about this subject. just about like a comparison with how the situation here in Belgium is, but we're not getting into that right now. I want to play the game actually.
Yeah, as long as we're not turning into Poland at the moment, I think we're good.
No, not
Poland
even close.
is screwed. Poland is screwed.
Yeah.
They really, really are. And the amazing thing is that they still think back with hatred towards Germany and what the Nazis
Well, can you
did
blame
when they
them?
invaded their country during the 30s. And I cannot blame them for that. But right now, they're turning into the Nazis.
Mm.
And they're not realizing it.
You fought so long against the thing that you're now becoming yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Uh,
Game. Continue playing.
game. No more politics. We already discussed Nazis earlier. Had a very deep philosophical conversation about that.
Well, it was mostly you, but okay.
Yeah, mostly me, because you asked a question.
Yes.
And I answered, and I talk a lot.
Yes, you
So that's why you like to have me on, because I can fill out the silence.
do. And yes, Shadow, why can't we just be excellent to each other?
Yeah.
And?
It should be easy, shouldn't it?
And?
Though I will
Party
say this before we
on,
continue.
dudes!
I will say this before we continue the game, though. I noticed when I was home a big difference. My mom and her boyfriend, I would not say they're racist, but they are quite concerned with the refugee crisis, and they do not feel safe. And they do have a few racist tendencies, but they are not completely bad, so don't hate on them. They have never been exposed to other cultures and different people to the same extent that my grandfather has. My grandfather has worked like almost all over the world. When he worked for 4 months in Saudi Arabia as an electrician, and he had his own crew. And he was telling me that he had a crew of Portuguese men, and he also at one point got another crew of men that came from Africa. I couldn't remember exactly where in Africa they came from, but they came from Africa. And he also had a crew of Muslims from Saudi Arabia. And he was even given a servant to follow him around. And the servant at one point actually stole his one of his T-shirts. And my grandpa was like, yeah, he wasn't very smart, but you know, what can you do? And he also worked in East Berlin before the fall of the wall. And he was exposed to many different people from all over the world there as well, because the company he worked for were drawing people in from all over the world to work for them because they could do so with some tax exemptions. So it made sense for them.
Always comes back to tax exemptions.
Yes. So my grandfather, most of his life, had been exposed to other cultures and other people, and he didn't seem worried about the crisis, like the refugees coming in and everything. All he was worried about was the fact that the government was not handling the integration the right way. He was like, they do not understand these people, do not understand the values and the culture that they come from. So when they do this and this, that's wrong. They should do this and this instead, because that's what they're used to and that's what they know, and this is how you can communicate with them. So it really goes to show that if you're exposed to other cultures and different kinds of people, you lose that fear.
Again, I have a lot to say about the refugee crisis. I'm not going to get into that because I have actually done some research in the statistics of integration and everything here in Belgium and everything. So again, not going to get into that right now.
Yeah, our integration at the moment is bad. That's again, we've had a right-wing government for quite a while, and they don't want to put any money into integration. And then they complain when they are not integrated and they cause problems. And it's like, well, maybe if you funded the integration office and got people to help, you know, maybe that would make a difference. But no.
Also hearing that stuff about your mother, that explains why she was worried about me coming over.
She wasn't too worried. She actually saw one of the pictures I showed, and she was like, oh, he actually looks quite nice. He looks like a nice person. I was like, yes, I told you.
The evil Belgian.
Yeah, the evil Belgium. That's also one of the reasons why I have not told them too much about me and Dominic going to Berlin. They know that I'm going, and they know that I'm meeting Dominic, but I was like, oh, we're just going at the same period of time, so we have a few days we could share at the museums. I haven't told them everything because I don't want them to worry. I can always tell them afterwards. It's like, by the way, we were there for the same amount of time because we planned the trip together. It wasn't a coincidence.
We planned it together,
Yeah.
we slept together.
We got married, we had kids.
Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant right now.
Yeah. We bought a house. We bought a car. By the way, the wedding is next week, so... Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun.
I just found a new title. Mom's getting married.
Clickbait.
Hey. Okay. At least now we have a name to put to the face, Adrian. This has been a long time since we played right now. How long have we been talking?
I don't know.
Jesus.
And yes, Shadow, come see the world over here in Europe so you can visit me in Varren.
Yay.
With all your tentacles.
I would love to have you around, Shadow.
Yes. Then you can draw me as one of your French girls. And draw Varren as one of your French boys.
Okay then.
That face was priceless.
Is it?
Yeah.
Amsel. That's not all we have. As I was saying, when you first walked in, I have been productive as well. I was able to uncover some new evidence in your absence. And coincidentally enough, that evidence pertains to our scarred friends.
Ooh.
You might recall that I said I'd dig into Audryn's skin graft. Well, I did, and that search has finally borne fruit. One of my contacts outside of Berlin...
He's still fucking ugly!
Yes, I know that.
Amsel, you're ignoring me!
No,
Hello, I'm over here!
I did acknowledge you this time.
Yeah, and then you flipped the bird at me. What the fuck?
Well, what do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Screw you, Amsel, and... Is that... Oh god, now he's tearing up pictures of me. He's cutting out the faces. Guys, should I be worried? Guys?
As long as we don't find them back sticky. New title,
That's it, guys.
sticky pictures. New title.
Screw it, guys. I'm cleaning out my bunk. From now on, I stay with my girlfriend in Denmark. Because at least I'm safe there.
One of my contacts outside of Berlin handles the paperwork for private hospitals all across Germany. It's a dull, boring job, but it does have its perks. Amsel pulls open a file on his computer. A medical chart opens up on the screen. As it turns out, our scarred friend's skin grafts were performed at a legitimate hospital after all. Some good news for once. What do they say? Well, they're rather light on identifying information. Our friend's name is listed as Max Mustermann, the local equivalent of John Doe. But they do cover his injuries in great detail. Audryn's injuries were extensive. He had 2 broken ribs and a shattered pelvis, and he had sustained 3rd-degree burns over 60% of his body. That must have been a weird night.
Yeah. Sounds fun. Also, I think Shadow is on Glory's side when reading the comments.
He's ugly and he smells funny. His suit makes him look fat.
Oh, I'm sure Glory appreciates that Shadow, but she's mine. Don't get fooled.
Most damningly of all, he was suffering from acute radiation poisoning. His body had absorbed over 5,000 millisieverts of ionizing radiation, a lethal dose without treatment. The information
It
drives
was a fucking wild night.
Yeah. Did they do it in Chernobyl or something?
Or maybe someone had been there on vacation, brought back some souvenirs, and those souvenirs were illegal for obvious reasons, but, you know, he smuggled them in.
Oh look,
and
here is the molten core of Chernobyl.
Yes, and all the mutated beasts that go with it. I mean, that could happen, right? Sounds plausible.
Maybe. The information dries up at this point. We know that he was treated and discharged, but what happened afterwards remains a mystery. He pauses for a moment, studying your reaction. Your thoughts? Hold nothing back. I'd like to hear everything that comes to mind. What, are you my therapist all of a sudden?
I think he is. Or maybe he has a crush on you. Maybe he wants to try the fisting.
Okay then.
I'll fucking kill you if you betray me, Varren Kimbold. Don't fall for him. Don't fall for his lies. He'll ignore you too.
Don't worry, he's not my type.
That's fucking good. Also, I still have those videos of you from the deep web, so just saying, if you betray me, they are going to get uploaded everywhere.
I have no idea
Not
what you're
just the
talking
deep web.
about.
Just you and some troll.
You can't prove anything.
I have video.
Imposter.
Gotta say, Varren, it's quite an erotic sitting that the troll is doing on your head. Hope it didn't smell too bad in there.
That was not me, that was my brother Darren Kindrel.
You keep telling yourself that, Varren. You keep telling yourself that. Oh, also, I found the video with you and the 9 goblins. So, gotta say, strawberry flavored loop goes a long way. And people, write the fanfiction. I set it up for you. Now go.
You set a lot of things up, Moth.
I do.
Okay. Adrian might have spent some time in the SOX. That radiation poisoning didn't happen on its own. Agreed. 5,000 millisieverts is a lot of exposure. Short of basking in the glow of an unshielded reactor, I don't know how would you absorb that much ionizing radiation without spending time in the SOX.
And Shadow, either you want to play another awesome game because of what we're talking about, or we would have had the lesbian subplot all over this playthrough, and you would have gone to Pornhub and rubbed a few out and then forgotten all about us for a moment. So,
a few?
I mean, what can we do? What can we do?
Alright, so Adrian was heavily irradiated, most likely from time spent in the SOX. What else does this tell you? Well, those burns sound like dragonfire, but if the fire ring burned Adrian, why would he be working for her now? I don't think that Adrian is working for the fire ring. I believe that he is serving her.
Ooh, sounds kinky. Maybe they have some fireplay going on?
On Green Winter's second DVD, he mentions that there is a cult within the SOX that worships the fire ring. The Disciples of the Cleaning Fire. I believe that Adrian belongs to this cult. What difference would that make? In my experience, a zealot is unlikely to shed his allegiance to his goddess, even if that loyalty comes at great personal cost. So, it is possible that Adrian is a dragon cultist. This seems to fit with much of the other information that we have uncovered. Did any other red flags jump out at you? The hospital couldn't ID Adrian. Either somebody covered his tracks for him, or he was living completely off the grid. Indeed. If Adrian were a denizen of the SOX, a glow punk, his lack of identifying information would make sense. Amsel adjusts his glasses. It is the working theory, at any rate. So to sum up...
Also, guys, you couldn't see this, but when he read Amsel adjusts his glasses, Varren adjusts his glasses, because he gets all into the role, all into the character. And Shadow, maybe you should, try your hand at, graphic novel, comic book style, and then you could get all your crazy stories to life. Just an idea. More for you to draw.
So to sum up, Adrian has probably spent time in the SOX. It is possible he even lived there as a member of Fireswing's dragon cult, and he is after you. He pauses for a moment before continuing. In my mind, all of this reinforces one fact. We need to find Vauclair, and we need to do it fast. Agreed. Good. And there's all the more reason to gather Alice's fee as quickly as possible. There's a buzzing sound from Paul's wrist. He lifts his hand to look at his PDA. Ah, and as luck would have it, Frau Müller has arrived. Best of luck at the meeting, Varren. Remember, this is urgent. We need that money. I'm on it.
You know, it's always the ugly villain that's after you. It's never the hot one. Unless you're, you know, in a Japanese movie or anime or manga. Then the villains are usually hot.
That's what you prefer?
Yeah.
Alright, let's say that we do this conversation again and then maybe end it for today?
Yep.
Because as you said,
Sorry,
you had to get out early, so...
Yeah, and I'm also still a little bit tired from today.
There we go, so let's just do this conversation real quick and then we'll end it for today.
Yes.
Where is that park? Maybe over here. Ah, there it is.
Well, Shadow, I think you should try everything you want to, everything you think that could be fun and interesting in regards to your art.
There we go, I just put in one more data that we found at the Humanist base. Oh yeah, and I have tons of karma to spend. Do that real
Yay!
quick.
We can use your karma before we sign off if you want to.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, real quick.
Okay. Well, Shadow, napping is nice, but I also want to finish my degree, so I can't sleep all day, I'm afraid. And tomorrow, by the way, I'm getting my weekly government visit, which I haven't had in a while because holidays and going home. And last time I talked to them, I was talking to them about a career in writing because I would love that. And they said that when I'm done with uni, they might be able to help me with that. So hopefully we can talk more about that tomorrow when I get my visit. It's so nice to have the government always checking in on you. Oh well, I shouldn't complain. It's nice to have a program that actually benefits you when you have a disability. Even though I don't think that Asperger's is the biggest disability out there. We just need a little bit of a helping hand in some cases.
There we go. I took some more strength and I took another spell.
Yay! Goody.
Alright, Frau Müller.
Don't do it if you think it's bleh. Shadow. Also because I know in the States it's quite expensive, so don't waste your money if you don't want to.
Set against the frozen cobblestones of the empty park, Frau Müller looks entirely out of place. She suppresses a shiver and hugs herself for warmth. Ooh. Hello there.
Oh, I didn't notice we have our dog with us.
Yes, he follows us around. She appears as Amsel described her, an impressive-looking woman of Atlanter descent with coffee-colored skin and dark, wavy hair.
She's cute, but I still prefer Glory.
Everything about her screams corporate executive, from her expensive-looking suit to her tastefully understated makeup. She's obviously nervous, but she's hiding it well. She locks eyes with you and hesitates only slightly before speaking. Let's see what kind of voice you come up with her.
I'm tempted to give her the kind of voice I also gave to Alice, if I remember it.
Maybe a little bit more on the anxious side.
Varren Kimbold, I presume. Herr Amsel told me that I could meet you here. Yes?
He wasn't lying. He said that you had a job for me.
Du-du-du-du-du.
And I am up for any kind of job. Any kind.
I'm not into dwarves.
God dang it.
She holds her silence for a moment, then nods. Yes, I do. In truth, I'm in desperate need of your help, though not that kind of help. I'm afraid I only like women. Of my own stature as well, so if you're not rich, I'm sorry.
And the
Not my
lesbian
type.
subplot continues.
It's been a while, we had to put it in there.
Then tell me what you
That
need.
sounded wrong.
Well, until you pointed it out, I was like, oh, okay.
I noticed it immediately. I was like, oh shit. And yes, Shadow, she does. She really, really does.
Then tell me what you need, Frau Muller. Wink.
Don't wink at me, dwarf.
I can't help myself.
If you want my money, you have to behave yourself.
Alright.
That's part of the job now.
Alright, don't get your skirt in
And
a
then
twist.
she offers you a small smile. An assumed name, obviously, but I have been told that this is how you people do business.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
What Shadow here says, in my XCOM game, he has clones.
Ah, cool.
So every time he dies, another takes his place.
Cool. She straightens in her seat and tries on a smile. It hangs there for a second, then fades away. She sighs. From my accent, you no doubt inferred that I'm an Aslana. Further, you may have guessed who I work for.
And I can finally use my etiquette here.
Yay!
As technology, I'd assume.
Woohoo. I'm not sure I pronounced that right, by the way. Aslana?
Never heard the word before, so...
I can pronounce it however I want then.
Exactly.
She nods. I've been with the company for over a decade. In that time, I worked on all manner of projects, from the innocuous to the obscene. My hands have touched it all. And don't get any ideas, dwarf. I haven't touched that, because I have standards. High standards.
I wasn't gonna bring up anything, but then you had to bring it up. Well, then.
I could see it on your face, dwarf. You're not good at hiding such impulses. Well, anyway, never once did I question the wisdom of our research. Never once did I consider blowing the whistle on my employers. I kept my nose down, worked hard, and excelled at the tasks set before me.
They must love you there.
You don't have to say it like that, dwarf. Sounds so condescending.
What can I say? Your business, I am a Shadowrunner.
True. However, they don't love me any more than any other employee. But my commitment and work ethic were recognized, and I ascended the corporate ladder fairly quickly, which brings me to where I am today.
A very special mission.
They all remember dying too and aren't happy about it. Whoops. Well, Varren, you might have some clones running your way soon from XCOM. Being like, we're pissed! You killed us off!
It is my fault, it's the aliens' fault.
You keep telling yourself that! Last month I was transferred here from my home in Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan?
I think that's about right.
Yeah. They told me that an employee of my caliber was needed in Berlin, and that I would be working on a project with wide-reaching applications. The only other detail that I was given was the name of the project. Bloodline.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, that doesn't
That's
sound
what
good.
I would say. Not catchy, it's just that, no, that's bad. That's just bad.
Okay, I'm gonna let you read this.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. There we go. She looks you in the eye, and for the first time you can see the cracks in her composure. She's doing a good job of hiding it, but deep down, this woman is terrified. Uh-oh. Well, I think it's a good thing that we're getting a lot of cash from this one, because I have a feeling it's going to be quite a serious run.
Yep.
I've seen many terrible things in my life, Varren Kimbold. In Technoctogen, blood magic is commonplace. Take a moment to imagine what that means.
Oh dear, we're facing with blood magic.
Shadow, it's bad, okay?
Bad, McCoy. Yeah, especially with blood magic. Never trust blood magic in any kind of story.
No. Just no. Come on, delay.
Every time I've seen it in either kind of game or television series or movies, like, yeah, never go with the blood magic because the blood magic always ends badly.
Yes, always does. Shadow thought her face was cracking, was gonna be like, monster alert! Or maybe cyborg, maybe tubes and stuff would come out. And we continue. In the underground markets, people are bought and sold as cattle. Street children are rounded up and bled like lambs. I witnessed all of these things by the age of 12. And Yusatsu has chimed in the blood magic, and he seems to agree with Shadow and you and me. Yay!
Yay, we're all in agreement.
Good. She takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly. Seeing such things, the changes here, make you numb. But what I found when I arrived here was worse. This project, it horrifies me, Varren Kimbold, and it must be stopped.
Yay, we're going to shut down a blood magic ring.
Varren seems pleased.
Yes, I am very pleased about that, because fuck blood mages.
Oh well.
And which party members are you referring to, Shadow? Of which game? Of Dragon Age, but which Dragon Age? Alright. Tell me everything you know about Bloodline. In all the little details.
I thought we were past this dwarf. You're not gonna get those kind of details. Though I did get a call from a woman before. I think her name was Glory, something along those lines, and she did say something about a video for the troll and you. And apparently,
how many
if you
did... have?
Oh, you didn't know? Oh, she did a little job for me once. I needed a bodyguard, and she was amazing. I tried to hook up with her, but apparently she's very faithful to her Danish girlfriend. So, her loss, mine loss as well. But I don't know. Maybe they'll invite me one day. One can hope. But anyway, the less that you know about this whole thing, the better for both of us. You just have to trust me on that, I'm afraid.
And yes, Shadow, of course Wynn and Alistair would be mad at you for being a blood mage. Alistair is a Templar, and Wynn is a goody two-shoes circle mage.
I don't play any of those games. I have no idea what they are talking about. I'm ready to be judged.
It's fine.
But before that, you need only know that it's evil. And that is not a word that I use lightly.
If you don't tell me what this bloodline is, how do you expect me to stop it?
Well, I heard you have quite a few bottles of flavored loop. I think that could do the job.
You said the magic word.
So it's simple, actually. She leans in and looks you in the eye. I want you to bring the building down. Varren, don't do that. That's fucking creepy. He just leaned into our little Skype conversation. So yeah, again, we're on Skype, so he just leaned into the camera. It looked
Oh, hey,
quite
Trev.
disturbing.
Hello, Trevor.
Trevor is here. You just got in. on the final moment.
Yes, the final stretches.
Yes, because I've had a long day, and tomorrow I'll have an even longer day. Because pop crawl. The computers, the research data, the mages and scientists that are working to bring about this abomination. I want all of them burned to ash, buried in rubble. No compromises, no exceptions. All of them.
Well then, time to blow stuff up.
Her tone softens. I'm sure that you have unanswered questions. I'm not in the habit of dealing with Shadowrunners. In truth, I spent the majority of my career living in fear of you people. But I do know that you're the only ones who can get this done.
You see me crack my knuckles. I can bring down a few walls.
Actually, I heard that Glory was the one who knocked down a wall earlier.
I'm getting there.
Or a door, rather.
And I also took down a wall in the beginning, if you remember.
True. You had all the loop. So tell me, Varren Kimbold, is there anything more that you need to hear from me? Or are you ready to make a decision? And yes, Trev, it's the introduction week at uni, so all the classes and courses begin next week, but this week is introduction. So tomorrow my alarm goes off at 5:30 because I have to be at university early, and then I have to leave early because I have a meeting in the afternoon at home, and then in the evening I'm gonna go on a pub crawl, so I also have to make sure that I get an early dinner that fills me up so I don't become like drunk, because the next day we have our dress up day. And we chose the 80s, so that's going to be fun.
Yes, we need pictures of that.
Yeah. Oh, and hey Simon.
Hey Simon. Paul Amsel is my representative in these matters. Why couldn't you tell all of this to him?
Oh dear. Yes, Trev, it is a lot, but I've done it before. I can do it again, and I'm going to be knackered throughout this week, but it's also quite fun. It's very enjoyable, so I want to pull through. I had to meet you in person, to look into your eyes and see the man behind the name. Now that I have done so, I'm sure you're the one that I need. To blow things up, that is. Stop looking at me like that, you filthy little dwarf.
You're the one that I want.
And naturally, I will send any further information about the job to Herr Amsel, provided, of course, that you accept.
What about any innocent people in the building?
Oh, for fuck's sake, just accept it. I was like,
we're going throughout the entire options.
Knackered. Trev, not
knackered. Not naked, knackered. I'll say this I'll say it in your Southern American voice, knackered.
I'm sorry, Trev, I have an accent. I'm sorry. I'm doing fine. Simon's just tired, falling asleep here. Okay, let's continue. None of us are innocent, Varren Kimbold, but you need to salve your conscience. Rest assured that at the hour of your approach, the only personnel authorized to be on the site will be security and senior members of the research team. And I assure you, neither are innocent in this matter. If the Bloodline project reaches completion, nobody will be safe ever again.
Of course, that's your mind and boner speaking, Trevor. I thought you meant naked for a minute there.
Aww, thanks, Trev. It's nice to have an adorable accent. And I don't mean drunk, Shadow. It's more how you feel the day after you've been drunk.
Yeah. It's more hungover.
Yeah, I'm tired. And for some reason you hurt all over and you don't remember falling down a flight of stairs, but apparently you did. Because you were drunk.
Yeah.
This sounds like hyperbole, I know. But it isn't. The Bloodline project will lead to countless deaths. I'm certain enough of this to hire you, despite the fact that doing so will probably cost me my own life. Just saying.
Well then.
Trust me, dwarf.
I'm not a demolition expert, Frau Müller. How do you expect me to level a building?
And Shadow, I've kind of hangover once, but it wasn't too bad. Usually I wake up, I'm tired, and I desperately have to pee. And then that's it.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Goodbye, Simon.
Bye, Simon. Hopefully I'll have time to watch some Game of Thrones tomorrow. Hopefully being the word.
Okay, I won't say anything about the finale then.
No, please don't.
I'll give a little hint. Something that happened in the very, very first episode, kinda, sorta, happens again now.
Comes back. Yeah. You don't need to be. All that you'll need is a competent decker. We have that!
Yes, we have Blitz. The best decker, really.
Yes.
Sugar.
See you, Simon. Hacks! All the hacks! Shadow's like, I walked through a door once like a badass.
I imagine he means a closed door. It's like...
Yes. Back in, I think that's the equivalent of high school, maybe a little bit higher education in Denmark. The school I went to had a glass door that led from the cafeteria outside. And we actually had a girl walk through it. Now here's the thing. It was around noon, the middle of the week. She was sober. She wasn't high, nothing like that. Apparently she was talking to a friend, looking to the side, and then she just walked right through it.
Mustn't have been very strong glass.
No, and she didn't actually get hurt.
Did they use sugar glass or something?
Yeah. I have no idea how. No one knows how she did it, how she managed to do it, but everyone's like, props. You know, that's fucking cool.
Now I'm just imagining Shadow as a eldritch version of the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! There's an art ID for you, Shadow. Eldritch version of the Kool-Aid Man.
There we go. Shadow, I walked into a few glass doors. But we did have that older guy at the museum who walked into one of the glass protectors at the exhibit at the Old Town.
Oh yes,
if you remember. Oops. Well, it happens, I guess. The facility is powered by a number of on-site generators. There are safeguards in place to prevent them from overloading. In the event of a power spike, the system is designed to shut itself down. But I know how you can disable those safeguards.
Oh my. Just an octopus in a glass jar.
That sounds adorable. Does it have like a little chair in there and a lamp and a newspaper you can read?
We're giving you all of these ideas, Shadow. You do something with them.
It's just what I envisioned in my mind. Once the generators begin to overload, you'll have a limited time to reach a safe distance. The explosion would be quite catastrophic.
Oh my. What can you tell me about the building security?
I really need to go to bed.
Hang on, it'll be two more options.
Okay. expected to be tight. In addition to their standard security team, as technology has taken out a knight-errant high-threat response team contract to protect the building. Corporate doesn't seem to mind contracting a competitor for emergency response services. That should give you some indication as to the uniqueness of this project. Can have a little monocle and a top hat too, Shadow, and maybe a cigar in a fancy ashtray. But instead of smoke, it's like little bubbles coming from it. At any rate, I believe that I've come up with a solution to the knight-errant problem. I'll discuss the matter with your Herr Amsel if you decide to take the job.
And now the most important bit. Let's talk compensation.
But you said two options ago.
Yusatsu, I said we were going to do all the options.
I'm falling asleep, guys. I'm falling asleep.
Not yet.
Almost. 36,000 new yen, as I told your Herr Amsel. That's what I have allocated for the job.
That's fair.
I know it is. I know my way around money.
Well,
Just saying.
You're a corporate businesswoman, so yeah.
Yes, Shadow, that would be cute. Very cute. It's better than fair. I've done my homework, Varren Kimbold.
I've reached a decision.
No, I was just noticing that her portrait and her little avatar, like her little 3D avatar, they don't match at all. Like a little 3D model looks like an old lady.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I was expecting like an old lady with a little poodle on a leash. And so that 3D model, I wasn't expecting someone quite as ravishing.
Now come along, dear.
Ah, shit, Trev, I already started counting. No, I have to wake up again. I have to wake up.
Alright, I'll take the job.
Yay. Think of bad cakes and tea. Oh, I will, Shadow. I'll dream of that all night. Hopefully that will be more pleasant than the last dream I had, which was quite weird.
What?
I had a dream that I was looking down on my hand, and I looked at my thumb, and I had like a little spot beside the nail, and all of a sudden started to grow and grow, and then the skin popped, and a large brown larvae, came out of my thumb, and was crawling around on my bed. Yeah, it's not a fun dream.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
It sounds like you exorcised the demon there or something.
Yeah, I have no idea why I dreamt that. I did, and I had to crush it, but I couldn't find it. It wriggled away.
Oh dear.
And it was hiding in the bed sheets. Very weird dream. I thought it was my phone for a second. It wasn't. Her face visibly brightens. In that case, it's a deal. I can't tell you how relieved I am. Varren Kimbold, thank you for helping me to bring this nightmare to an end. Also, give my regards to Glory. She deserves it.
She seems to be very popular around this area.
Well, she is. She's a sweetheart. And tell her not to let Amsel get on her nerves. He's an asshole to everyone. And he's only an asshole to everyone because he wants to be the asshole. He's very depressed about that. But, Anyways, I will iron out the remaining details with your Amsel. He wants to talk this over with you anyway, I'm sure. You're a good man, Varren Kimbold. You're saving more lives than you know.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Shadow, I dreamed once and zeros. Thought I saw a 2 once, which was scary.
Alright, I think this is a good time to end the stream here.
Yay, I need sleep.
We've been going for like 2.5 hours, so that's plenty of content, I think.
Yay. Hopefully you got some titles.
For this one I have, for the previous ones I'm still coming up with some.
Well, the previous one, the lesbian subplot, was kind of missing.
Yeah.
But it sort of crept back a little bit at the end of the stream, I'll say.
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
So,
and I do apologize for all the heavy talking
It is
at the
fine.
beginning.
But, as I said, I'm going to end it here. Moth, I'd like to thank you again for being my co-host for this year's stream. It's always fun doing it with you.
It does. And yes, Shadow, the game needs more bridge building.
God dang it. It's never going to die. It's never going to die!
No, it isn't.
Okay. Now, I'd like to thank all of you who watched today. I'd like to thank all of you who chatted and interacted with us in the chat itself. And until the next stream, I bid you all a good day and a good night.
Bye!